Alive again. Merry Christmas. All right. Looks like we are live streaming again on a not so white Christmas. So, yeah, we've had an issue lately where when we go to play our lovely song, it kills our Facebook Live, and we're not sure why. So we're going to try this again. But before we get into the show, let's hit that music one time just to see if it actually works. Here we go. We're going to hit the music and see what happens. So, here we go.
He's Ray the video guy.
No problem whatsoever. All right. So why it crashed us last time, who the heck knows? But for those of you just joining us or jumping over from the last one, we're going to be talking about YouTube ads for 2019. But let's not waste any time, Steve. Let's get this show out the door right now. Let's hit live in 5, 4, 3, 2. On today's episode of Video Marketing Madness, we're going to talk about YouTube ads for 2019. And today's episode is made possible by, well, a free webinar that we're doing right after the show today. Now, if you're watching this in the future, head on over to freevideoeditor.co, download your free video editor. But for those of you watching live, today at 3 p.m., right after the recording of this show, we're going to be doing a live webinar going in deep on those YouTube ads and some of the things that we've discovered lately, some of the things we're working on, software that you can use to help your YouTube ads, and a whole lot more. So be sure to register by using the link below this video and jump on in there at 3 p.m. right after the show today. So with that, Steve, shall we hit the funky music?
Sounds good, Ray.
We'll see. Let's see. Here we go. Here we go.
He's Ray the video guy. Yeah, Ray the video guy. His skill is where it's at. Even if he's a little fat, he's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the video guy. Yeah, Ray the video guy.
And it's the radio show about video marketing madness with Ray the video guy, and I'm Steve Sleeper. And of course, we do the Facebook Live Fridays at around 2 o'clock. Do you have your headphones in? I can hear me.
You know what? Actually, that's funny. I do have my headphones in, but I think when we reset there, it's still doing external. So there we go. Now we got the headphones working.
Much better. Okay. So we're on all the podcatchers like Apple Podcasts and TuneIn. And let's see, we're on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.
Twitter. For all you Twitterers out there,
Yeah.
we are on Twitterer. So
Twitter.
yeah, should be a lot of fun today. We're going to talk about those YouTube ads. And Steve, by the way, I don't know how much you use YouTube ads, but boy, I'll tell you, we are using them so much more than we used to and doing so much more with them than we used to do. And so I'm really excited to talk about this today.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Indeed.
Is this with the attorneys?
That's part of it. That's some of the stuff that we're doing. But, obviously YouTube ads, we use them for a lot of different things. But our local ads, they're working extremely well, and we're getting to really see and compare them to other types of advertising and really seeing what the differences are between the two. So, Steve, tell everybody, what do you do with YouTube ads at this point?
I got to tell you, mine are pretty basic. What I'm doing is standing up videos, trying to get them ranked, and I buy the $5 and just get as many views as I possibly can, which is a great way to optimize your videos. It's easy to buy those ads, although it's not as easy as it used to be. It's still easy. You got to go into the AdWords account to do it now. So I'm really looking forward to this because I'm going to figure out some new ways of doing things. Maybe it's something I need to roll out to my customers.
It could well be. I mean, if you work with local businesses, this is something that is really big. And to be honest with you, a lot of the advancement we've had in YouTube ads of late have come from our customers demanding it, not as much about us trying to push it to them. Although we're pushing it to our other customers, but it was a lot of the customers that came to us and were like, hey, you know what, we do TV ads or we do this, and people are cutting the cord, so our TV ads aren't showing up as often. We need new opportunities, and so one of the major opportunities is to do YouTube ads. And so we're really excited about the possibilities with those and all the different things that we're doing currently. And so, I'm really excited about it. And the one thing that you brought up, which I think is really important, is when you're working with videos and you're trying to rank them. So whether it's for, a product you're selling online, a local business, even just for entertainment, if you go out and you buy some views directly from YouTube, you can really help that video. We like to call it seeding the video. So you're kind of getting that base down, and you can really start to build a nice viewing audience for that video right up front. And, you know, as our good friend Daryl Eve says, in the first 48 hours, it's really important to get as many views as you can, and by as many as you can. We're not talking thousands or millions, but if you can get a few hundred in the first couple of days, that's really going to help YouTube to know, okay, this is a video worth promoting. It's got a little bit of action behind it. And if you're purchasing views by running ads on YouTube, you're going to get a lot of views very quickly, and oftentimes you might even make your money back before you even spend the money that you're using to get those views. We've done product videos where we've come out and we've reviewed a product, we put it onto YouTube, we ran about $10 worth of ads over 2 days and sold $300 worth of the product in those 2 days while running those ads. And to be perfectly honest, the idea of those ads wasn't to sell a product. It was literally just to get the views, because we knew who we were going to sell it to anyway. But by getting the views through YouTube in that manner, it got people that were actually interested to see it and buy the product, which of course the people that buy the product end up on our list, and now they're customers for life, whether they like it or not. And they're going to hear from me every day for the rest of their lives. So that is one thing that you can do with YouTube ads to start right off, is just promote your videos to make sure that they get a nice viewing audience. It doesn't take many. It might take a day or two at like $5 to $10 a day, and that's really going to give you enough to get you going. And what's great about that is as you do this, you'll start to get a more organic audience with that as well, because people will share your videos from time to time. As more and more people are seeing it, it's going to show up more in search. Other people are going to see it, and it's just going to help you to grow that video. In fact, I go back to a couple of years ago, and I've been talking a lot about this particular video just because we've been doing stuff with YouTube ads lately. But back a couple of years ago, we had somebody come to us who was back in the 80s. They were a rock band, most famous for their Pac-Man Fever song, which was huge in, 81 or 82, whenever that was back then. And they had done a remake of that song specifically for the movie Pixels that came out. And they wanted to really get, a ton of views for that particular video and that particular song. And they had hired a New York firm who was going to charge them all this money and was going to do this and that. And after all this time, nothing had happened. I mean, they had like 100 views. It was really ridiculous. And I believe they even got their money back from the big New York firm, fortunately. But what we did was we ran ads for that music video and for that song, and we were able to get, over 1 million views in a very short period of time, and without spending a fortune. I think they might have spent about $500 or so to get that going. And after that, they stopped running the ad, but the video kept going. And the video was getting, it kept getting millions and millions of views over the next months, and now it's been about 2.5 years. But this got the ball rolling, and it kept them getting all these views for all this time. So literally, we paid to get the first 1 million views. And by the way, when I say that, we paid money to run ads, and it reached 1 million views. We didn't pay for 1 million views. We paid for a portion of those 1 million views, and the video kind of got its own viral thing going and started earning its own views on top of the views that we got. So when we were running the ads, it reached over 1 million in that time, but many of those were not paid for. So we were actually getting organic views as well. The video was ranking well. It was showing up for different terms. And now if you go to that video is running ads on it. So they're making money when people watch that video now, and they're not spending money on ads. So they're actually making money with that, and they're selling shirts and songs and whatever else through that as well. So that was all done basically through simple, basic, promotion of a video, because the goal with that was specifically to get people to watch. And we did that, by the way, excuse me. The way that we got to do that was we used what are called placements. And we actually used a piece of software that goes out, and you're able to put in a keyword. So in this case, we put in Pixels for the movie Pixels, and a bunch of movie trailers and reviews popped up, and we were able to say, okay, this one is really hot right now. This trailer here is the official one from Sony, and yes, they're allowing ads on it, Boom, there we go. We're going to put it on that one. We're going to put it on this review right here. This review is getting a lot of views right now. It's monetizable, so we're going to put the ad on that. Boom. And we were able to place this video onto these other videos that were very popular in that niche and get a lot of views. And so that's a very effective method of doing that in that particular case. Now, with local businesses, there's so many opportunities to work with YouTube videos, and it's very easy. You know, if you understand YouTube videos even a little bit, or if you're willing to learn it just a little bit, you can do these local promotions very, very easily, more easily than just about anything else out there. So for instance, if you're working for a baker in Indianapolis, you can actually go into YouTube with a video, and then you can go into your ads account. You can set up a video ad with the video that you uploaded and put it on anything inside of the Indianapolis area. So you can choose just to run that ad in Indianapolis, and then you can choose your audience as well. So if you want it to be in front of everybody, you can just set the demographic. Now, in our case, with our lawyers, that's what we do most of the time, is we're only targeting a geographic area. We don't care whether somebody's 18 or 80. We don't care if they're male or female, black or white, fat or skinny. None of that matters, because in their case, anybody could be their customer. Anybody could be injured at any point in time and need them as an attorney. And so therefore, all we have to do is say, okay, run this ad on everything possible inside of this particular city or inside of this particular state. And then what happens is, whether somebody's watching a cat video, or they're watching some sort of news programming, or, you know, comedy, or whatever they're watching, they're going to see that ad in front of those videos at least once in a while. And that's going to help to get that name recognition up. So it's very much like a billboard or a TV ad, in that it's just getting out there to everybody, getting as many eyeballs as possible, and then driving traffic to the website and making sure that when something does happen, they get into a car crash, they get injured at work, they remember that attorney's name right away. They remember that name and they can make the phone call, or they remember the catchy jingle with the phone number in it. Things like that get them to make a phone call, because we're trying to get top of mind so that when they need an attorney, they know exactly who to call. And that's what these YouTube ads are really, really good for. Now, again, going back to the baker in Indianapolis, you can go in and you can not only set Indianapolis as where you want those videos to run, but you could say, okay, you know what? Our clientele are women between the ages of 24 and 50. And so you can say, okay, I want this ad to be shown to women 24 to 50 that live in Indianapolis. And you're going to get that ad out to those particular people. Now, if you're selling a product, for instance, you're selling, I saw an ad this morning. I put out a Facebook. I said, it must be Christmas time. Either that or I'm in a time warp, because I saw TV commercials for The Clapper and for Chia Pets. And so you imagine if you're selling Chia Pets. Well, Chia Pets can be sold in Hawaii. They could be sold in Alaska. They could be sold in Rhode Island. They could be sold in Florida. So, and everywhere in between. So what you want to make sure that you do there is you're going to target the entire United States. Instead of a city or a state, you can target the U.S. You could target the whole world if you wanted to. You could target by language. You could target by interests. You could target by age. All sorts of different demographics. If you're selling a dog product, you can go in and make sure that you get in front of people that love dogs, people that watch dog videos. You can make sure it runs on certain dog videos. So there are numerous possibilities with YouTube ads to get onto all of these different properties and to really, make sure you get in front of that audience when you need to. So what you want to be able to do is find out who your target audience is, whether it's a location, a type of person, male, female, whatever it is. Make sure you have that information. Go into YouTube ads and start running your ad right away. It's not very hard to do. You can go onto Google. You can get some information to get you started. If you don't get too advanced, it's not very difficult to do. You can set it up in a matter of minutes. In fact, each ad probably takes me 5 minutes to put together. It's not a big process at all. If you get really granular inside of your targeting, it can take a little bit longer because you really, you're trying to narrow that down and only get in front of the people that you really want. But it's not very difficult to do and something that everybody should be doing. But the question is, Steve, how effective are these ads? Do they actually drive any traffic? What do you think? Do you think they actually drive traffic, Steve?
Absolutely. They
You're
drive
darn
traffic.
tootin' they do.
Yeah, yeah, and depending on how you're targeting it, and what your goals are, and what kind of budget you have,
Yep.
you can get a lot of top of mind and website traffic, or get a lot of direct sales. So that's the beauty of it. It works for both branding and direct sales.
Yep, it absolutely does. In fact, we in the past have, and I think I've told this story on here before. We've sold products before where we didn't even have a website. We literally just had a YouTube video with a link to PayPal to buy, and it worked. We've also done ads on YouTube specifically just giving something away to get people onto our list. Again, it worked very, very well. We were able to build a nice big list in a very short period of time for, I think like $10. We got like 300 people in a completely new niche to us that we were never in before. So it can definitely work out very well if you do it properly. And again, even back then, I probably wasn't even doing it properly, and yet we were still getting really good results because I was still just testing it back then. Whereas now we do a lot of ads. I mean, we're talking, we spend thousands and thousands and thousands on ads every single month between all the clients and everything else. So it's it's become something pretty big and something that they want. But let's talk a little bit about the actual results, because as we know, when it comes to local businesses, when it comes to selling products, you're probably going to be running things like Facebook ads. You're going to be running PowerPoint, pay-per-click ads, wrong PP, pay-per-click ads, and maybe you're going to be running these YouTube ads. So what we were able to do over the last couple of days is to go back and look at some of the numbers that we've had for the last couple of months. And what we found was actually quite surprising. YouTube, first of all, for anybody who doesn't know, YouTube advertising has slowly kind of integrated into Google AdWords, or I guess they just call it Google Ads now. So now basically you're not really running a YouTube ad. What you're running is a Google ad that happens to be using a video instead of a banner, that kind of a thing. So that's basically what it's come down to these days. And there's some intricacies with that, because one of the problems that we discovered was we're looking at analytics and we're looking at like referrals and everything, and we see referrals from Google. So we know that the Google ads were working and saying, but we're not seeing any referrals from YouTube. And we're like, well, this doesn't make any sense. We got to be getting something out of this, right? Well, of course, when we go into the actual reporting inside of Google Ads, they break it down in there. So essentially what is happening is everything from the Google Ads is just being referred to as coming from Google. And so it looked like everything was coming from there directly, where in reality what was coming from there was all of our ads, whether they were video or traditional pay-per-click ads. And in the targeting, in the reporting of Google Ads itself, we discovered quite surprisingly that our YouTube ads were actually outperforming the pay-per-click ads. We were actually getting more clicks back to the website from the YouTube ads than we were from the Google ads. In fact, in one campaign where I looked at the top 10 ads that we had running in there, and we only had 5 video ads running, and we had a bunch of pay-per-click ads. So we kind of put the top 10. Well, the top 4 of the first 4 were all the video ads. They were number 1, 2, 3, and 4 for best performing, and the 5th video ad was like number 7 or 8, and the others were the pay-per-click ads. But here's the funny thing about that: when you added the video ads together, they had sent, in that 30-day period, they had sent like 480 people to the website, which in the case of some of our clients, that could be worth thousands and thousands of dollars to them, having that many people go to the website. Just one person, if just one of those people signs up with them, that could be worth $100,000, depending upon what's going on there. But what we discovered was those pay-per-click ads, the regular Google ads, only sent about 220 people to the website. So literally more than double of, the video ads sent more than double the number of people to the website than those top pay-per-click ads did in the site. And of course, the video ads were the first 4 best performing. But here's what makes it even better. Not only did those ads send way more people, but they cost literally about 1/10 the price of what we paid to Google for pay-per-click ads. And I'm talking, some of those pay-per-click ads were like $3,000, $3,500, $2,500, $1,800. And those 5 video ads that we did were all, not one of them was even $1,000. So we're talking like one was like 800, one was 600, one was 150. So they were very low in comparison to the cost of the pay-per-click ads, which were much higher. So the YouTube ads were performing better and costing, 1/10 or so, or whatever it was, 1/8 the price of the pay-per-click ads. So we were actually saving money while getting more results out of those particular ads. So that's what really shocked me with that. Now, that, of course, for those of us that are marketers, that could pose a bit of an issue, couldn't it? Because if you're getting paid as a percentage of the actual Google ad spend, and these customers suddenly discover, wait a minute, we can get better results from YouTube ads at 1/10 the price, and they start going in that direction, and obviously they're not going to spend as much money now, that could hurt you and bring your prices down. So you got to be careful with this, and make sure that you don't misinterpret that and hurt yourself by outing yourself on that. But because the pay-per-click ads obviously have massive value, and we've got lots of different things. You can't not do it, because YouTube ads are not going to be shown on the page 1 of Google when people search, but the pay-per-click ads are going to be shown there. So there's a lot to say about that, to make sure that you're kind of doing a little bit of both and kind of spreading yourself out with that. But the YouTube ads definitely are a big deal. Now, coming up in 2019, what are some of the changes that are going on? As we've seen, it's all kind of consolidated down into that Google Ads platform now. So everything, even though everything was always in there as far as setup and seeing things, now everything is kind of working the same way. Whenever you run any sort of ad inside of Google, it's going to ask you, is this a banner ad? Is this a video ad? Etc. So it's all integrated in there. The results are integrated together. But here's what's really cool. The biggest thing that at least my clients are looking for are people that have cut the cord. So they're not using cable anymore. They're using YouTube to watch their TV. They're using Hulu to watch their TV. They're watching Netflix, and they don't have cable or satellite anymore. Those are all people that are lost to anybody that's running TV ads. Now you couple that in with people watching TV that are just able to DVR and skip past the ads, and now you're looking at a major issue, because guess what? You're still paying to run those ads, even if people are skipping them on the DVRs. So your price isn't going down, but their effectiveness is going down big time. And so a lot of these companies are saying, hey, you know what? We want to get these cord cutters. And the good news for people like us, the bad news for TV companies, is back a long time ago, somebody in the genius TV world decided that eyeballs watching on a computer or a phone or an iPad are not worth as much as eyeballs watching a television. And so what that did was that brought the value of ads way down, whereas the TV ads still stayed way up here. And so for a pair of eyeballs on TV, you're paying up here. A pair of eyeballs on digital, you're paying way down here, even though either one of them could buy your product. Well, that's great for us as advertisers, because we can get this so much cheaper. And now that YouTube is on your television, people are watching YouTube on their TVs instead of just on their computers. And same thing with Hulu and Netflix. I talked to a Hulu ad rep the other day, and something like 90% of all Hulu is now watched on TV, not on a mobile device. So people are watching this stuff on their TVs, which makes what we're doing even more valuable, because we're getting on that big screen TV. It seems more big time, it seems more legit, and therefore it has more value. People value the stuff they see on their big screen TV more than they do an ad that's popping up on their phone or on a computer screen. And so that falls right into that category for us, which is tremendous. So when you do this with YouTube, you now get the YouTube connected TVs, and YouTube is actually opening up starting in January, where you can target specifically to TVs. So if you might have an ad that you run that's specifically, more like for people on their computers. Maybe it says, click here to do this, click here to do that. Well, if it's on your big screen TV, they can't really click most of the time. So you could have a totally different ad running on television and target only people that are seeing this on TV. Now, the great thing about that is, not a lot of people are going to be on that right away, which means that us as marketers who know this, we can get a head start. We can start to target directly to those TVs and really get a nice big audience for our clients very quickly and without having to spend a fortune to be on TV. So it's a very big win-win situation. And Steve, what do you think? I mean, I know this is a lot of stuff I'm throwing out there very quickly, just because, we don't have a lot of time to go into detail and whatnot. But, what do you think as far as your clients? Are your clients attempting to do TV? Do they currently do TV? Are they looking for cord cutters?
Well, yeah, they got to be. And keep in mind, what I focused on is getting YouTube videos up for them and getting them ranked in Google and getting them social media signals. But,
Right.
this is huge. And I think the thing that is important to note is that it's a really low cost per eyeball, and it does drive traffic, and that's very cool. And then the cord cutters are more and more so all the time, and YouTube TV is running a ton of ads, and you can watch all the games on ESPN and all that. That's going to be a huge opportunity to specifically go after those TV watchers, albeit YouTube TV. It's a great opportunity to reach the cord cutters, but still get people that are watching TV.
Absolutely. And, we're talking mostly about YouTube ads today, but in the coming weeks, as we do more shows here, we're going to be talking a lot more about some of these opportunities. But again, you can do this with YouTube. You could also be going after digital TV cord cutters on a variety of other video platforms and content platforms that allow video ads. And this is on the big screen TVs too, not just on the computer. Hulu right now is probably the biggest thing that I'm working on right now, is getting our clients into Hulu, because Hulu has a ton of really good advertising opportunities. Everything from interactive ads to traditional 30-second ads to viewers' choice ads. You can sponsor shows. You could sponsor menu items. So the great thing is, even if you're hitting Hulu, some of the people pay Hulu more money each month to not see ads during the shows. You can start hitting them with other types of ads, like sponsoring. You're bringing up a TV show and it's got that nice big banner about the TV show, and it could say your logo there and have you as the sponsor for that. So there's a lot of really cool stuff they're doing to be able to get at more and more people. So those types of ads are going to be huge this year. I mean, honestly, my biggest growth area, I think, for this year is probably going to be the Hulu ads, just because I see that really becoming a big deal with the local businesses. And now that we understand how to run them, that's going to be a really nice one there. And by the way, just to give a comparison, when we're running YouTube ads, we're probably getting most of the views for between 4 and 8, maybe 9 cents a view. And that kind of seems to be where we fall in there. When we do video placement ads, oddly enough, that one tends to be on the lower end. It seems to cost us a little bit less, I think, because it's a little more targeted. And we're paying, 4 cents a click there. And then when we're doing more general statewide, really opening it up there, it's costing a little bit more, because there's a lot more competition. There's a lot more people vying for that particular space. So those tend to go up, and then we might be paying, 8 cents, 7 cents, 5 cents inside of those ads there. So that's another thing to consider. Inside of Hulu, you're talking about 3.7 to 4 cents a view. And so that's a really good number there. The downfall of Hulu is you've got to have a commitment. So you've got to commit to $30,000 worth of ads in order to even get on there. Now, that $30,000 might take you a whole year to use, which, if you think about it, break it down, that's only, $2,500 a month or so, $2,800 a month. So that's not a lot. That's not a lot in ads for a bigger business. A law firm probably spends, that in a couple of days on pay-per-click. So, to get them to spend $2,800 in a month, that's nothing. $30,000 spread out over time, not a big deal, because for that, you're going to get about 800,000 views of your ad. And that's a lot, especially if you're talking about statewide or citywide. That's a lot of, a lot of views of your ad. So there's a lot of opportunities there. But YouTube, the first one that you want to get into, not difficult to do, not difficult to get into. Very good results. Like I said, we actually found that they were beating our pay-per-click ads, which really kind of threw me off. I was very surprised by this. And the reason for that, by the way, a good story with this is I've been doing YouTube ads for quite a while, but I'm not a Google Ads expert. But now that they've really kind of condensed both of those together into one platform, I've had to really learn the Google Ads platform, for things like conversions and reporting and all that. And so now that I'm kind of understanding the reporting and I can go in and look and go, oh, look, we did get clicks. Because the issue that you have with YouTube ads, especially for a local business, is let's say somebody's watching your ad on a big screen TV and it says, call Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. Now, if you've had this particular issue, well, you can't click your mouse and go there. So you have to either memorize the phone number or the website or write it down or wait till late and then wait till later. If you're, it's very much like a billboard. If you're driving down the highway, you have to remember what was on that billboard and then go back later. There's no way to say how many people called a number from a billboard unless there's a tracking number. So with YouTube, it's a very similar type of thing. Is like, how do you know that somebody that called your phone number did it from a YouTube video if it's the same number as on TV, if it's the same number that's on your flyers, if it's the same number that's on your website? They could have done it for any of those reasons. But you can track clicks, and if they're watching on a computer or a tablet or a phone, you can see the clicks that they go through, which means in many cases that the numbers that you're seeing are probably not even the best numbers for that, because there are people that are remembering the name of your company and searching you up when they get home, or searching them up when they get back to their computer, or maybe they're just picking up the phone and dialing the number they see on the screen, in which case that video is not going to get credit for that. So they're actually doing better. Now, there are kind of ways to track phone numbers and phone calls and all of that kind of fun stuff. But again, not the most accurate thing in the world. But the fact that our YouTube ads get more clicks to the website than some of the other ads at the same time that people could be just picking up the phone, and that just shows you that these are very, very powerful ads. So there you go. And that's all I got to say about that. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, very cool. Good stuff. And by the way, if you're watching the Facebook Live, Ray does own his own Santa suit. He's dressed as Santa without the beard. And, you don't have the stomach you once had for Santa, though.
No, I was kind of laughing. I shot some videos earlier, and the poor belt on the Santa suit looks like it's, scrunched in. It's like an hourglass shape now instead of a pear shape. So that's all right. Just makes it a little funnier, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Well, but, of course, Ray the video guy would not rent a Santa suit. He owns it. Some people own their own tux. Ray owns his own Santa suit.
Don't be too, amazed by that. I got it at Party City for like $20. So.
Oh. Well, cool. Well, hey, good show, good stuff. And, of course, Ray's got that webinar coming up after we record this do this
as
live.
We're watching this in about 20 minutes, we're going to be starting that. And that's going to go in depth on some of these. We're going to show some numbers. We're going to show exactly what we're getting out of these YouTube ads, so you can really see exactly how the YouTube ads are responding and how people are responding to those ads and how you can get your stuff on there. We're going to be discussing specifically a particular software that helps you to find those placements, because that's very, very important. We didn't talk a ton about this, but when I mentioned the Pac-Man Fever, we put it on the Pixels trailers and whatnot. So we actually had to use a software, put in Pixels, and have all those different videos come up, because if you go into YouTube and you want to do placements, there's no way of really knowing what videos actually allow you to run ads. And so, one, you're going to have to go into YouTube and say, oh, I want to place it on these videos. But you've got to go into YouTube, you got to search videos, you got to find one, you got to hope that it has an ad on it, or you got to watch each one of them to make sure it's got an ad. And sometimes videos that allow ads don't show ads. So you don't know if that one's monetized still. So you go back and it's a very difficult process. But when you use software that allows you to go in and just type in your keyword, it'll bring up all the top videos. It'll show you which one's monetized. Actually, in the software that we're using now, it only shows the videos that are monetizable. So the ones that don't allow ads, they don't even show them. But it gives you, how many views they've gotten and, how popular they are. It lets you even contact the owner of that video if you need to. So all of that stuff in one software, and it's very, very useful for the placements. And what's great about the placement ads is, like I said, we're getting the views for a lot less, for 4 cents versus 7 cents. Doesn't sound like a big difference, but you figure if we're getting them for 7 cents, that's almost double the cost. So if you're spending, $1,000 and you start doing placements and you cut that in half, now it's only $500. Now, of course, if you're getting a paid percentage of ad spend, that may not sound so great, but if you're running your own ads, that's a huge deal to be able to save money. And even with clients, that allows you to take their ad spend and put it even further onto other things. So placements are very cool. We'll talk all about that in the webinar. So be sure, click the link down below if you're watching this live on Facebook, and join us for that webinar starting in about 18 minutes or so.
Wow.
It's gonna be fun.
Okay, very cool.
I'll still be in my Santa suit.
Yes, okay, well, good. Well, I guess that wraps up the show for another week, and we'll see if we'll try to do one next Friday, too, because I'm not doing anything. I guess it depends on whether Carrie's got anything planned for you, right?
Yeah, who knows? I'm not even sure, so.
Okay. Well,
we shall find out, but hopefully we'll do a show next week. And until then, Steve, I believe you were going to sing a Christmas carol for us. Is that correct?
No, you don't want me. They don't even let me sing at church, dude.
Oh, well, I tried.
That's bad.
Silent night.
You got a pretty good voice, though.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Maybe you should sing the Ray the Video Guy song to end up
the video guy. Ray
I almost thought that was it.
Video guy. His skill is rare. I don't even know the words. Isn't that sad? I don't even know most of the words.
Even though he's a little fat, I remember. But you're not even a little fat anymore, are you?
Yeah, a little bit. No, I'm still a little bit.
A little bit? Okay.
All right. With that, let's try to hit the music and hope that we don't have a technical
Get knocked off
difficulty
the air.
when we do so. So here we go. Oh, and look at that. We already got the technical difficulty a little bit here. So let's see. Maybe not. All right. Here we go. Let's hit that music. Here we go. Here we go.
He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy.